All right, hello everybody. This is Carl White broadcasting from the secret headquarters of the Mortgage Marketing Animals, and today I'm joined with my dear partner, Miss Tammy Schneider. And Tammy, you're broadcasting by the other.
Oh, I'm in my secret headquarters as well, down here where it's steady still. So.
Well, you've got a little bit better a view out the window than I do. So
yes. So.
All right. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to get the meetings that you're having, how to get even more results from them. In other words, like when we go and meet with referral partners, how do we help ensure that we're actually going to start getting referrals from them? Because Tammy, you and I both know loan officers that had tons of meetings, and it seems like some's able to get a bunch of referrals from them, and sometimes we hear instances, not often, but we hear instances where they're not able to get like some's getting more deals than others when they have these meetings. Like I don't think everybody's doing well with it. This is how to take it to that next level and get even more referrals from these meetings. And
exactly. So this is a book. This is all based upon a book that we love. So if you've never read this book, I would highly recommend running out, picking yourself up a copy. If you're one of our Freedom Club members, you should have gotten a copy of this in the mail from us. But this is, to me, a game changer. It's just how to sell and build relationships through being nice, basically. So Mr.Shmooze is just, to me, that kind of sounds smoozy, but it's an amazing book. When it's just about when you meet somebody, when you talk with someone, how to find a connection with them instantly and how to take that to the next level. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and how to do that in your own mortgage business. Perfect. So this is going to be connecting and instantly connecting. It's almost an instantaneous thing, Carl, when you do this with the follow-up systems that we have. And so it's how to build instant connection with your real estate agents. And then you can also use this for your clients, for your buyers and the people that you're working with. You can use it with your employees. There's just so many people that you can use this with. We've set the whole PowerPoint up and the class up on how to use it to get referral partners. But kind of like our love language class, this will work with anybody.
It will, and it will. This absolutely will. You'll get more referrals from this, no question about it.
Yeah. So they say you've got about 15 minutes to make an impression with someone. I found it to be even shorter than that sometimes, even like 30 to 60 seconds. And so to handle the 30 to 60 second thing, you're going to need what we call a value proposition. But we're not going to go into that today. But what you're going to need for this 15-minute impression is more of this class. So when you know you've only got 15 minutes to spend with a real estate agent, so you've called them using Thor's hammer and said, hey, I would love 15 minutes of your time just to kind of get to know each other and hear how awesome you are and chat about how awesome you are. Many times I hear through the grapevine that people show up to those meetings having told the real estate agent this is going to be all about you, but when they get there, they're armed with all their brochures, all of their flyers, all of their rate sheets, and every program that they have. And so when they've got that 15 minutes in press, are you using that time to tell them about you, how many loans you closed, how long you've been doing this, that you are 7-Eleven, you're available 24/7, and that you're really great? Or are you telling them about how great your company is? We got great products, we got great rates, we have the best service, all of that kind of stuff. Because if you are, I have news for you guys. You're joining the everybody else does that club. So you're not setting yourself apart. So what we're looking to do is to set ourselves apart. And so what we're going to be let me share some results of what someone has done before we jump into the class. So when he did this, he measured his results for 6 months, and he was able to double his income by 197%, which is basically doubling your business. And so at the time, he was closing 8 or 9 loans a month, and he went to 17. by doing this in his meetings. So his volume went up over that's in 6 months time. And then when we measured all of his results for a year, it's almost the same results. He doubled his business in a year's time. When he went to his meetings, before he did this, he was only getting a referral for 1 out of 4 people that he met with.
Which actually is not a bad number, just FYI. So I know some of you, like me, I looked at this first time I saw this, and I look, my numbers are already pretty good. And so if you're anywhere even close to 1 out of 4, and what this means is that, like, every time you meet with a potential referral partner, say a Thor's Hammer call is what we're talking about here. So you meet with a potential, maybe it's the listing agent that you're meeting with the first time. Maybe it's somebody the title company introduced you to. Maybe it's somebody you met at an open house, and make sure they're qualified, of course. But when you meet with them, if you meet with 4 agents and one of them starts referring to you, that's actually not bad numbers. But what we found when he did this is he didn't get 1 out of 4. It actually swapped to 3 out of 4. He was getting like
3 out of 4, yeah.
Yeah, he was getting a 68. He's getting a 68% by meeting with them one time, doing this thing that we're going to show, and then of course following up with them. That 68% of the qualified agents he met with would start referring to. That's a remarkable number. I can't overestimate how big of a number. That's literally off the Richter scale.
Richter scale. Yeah. And especially when you consider that the market that we're in right now, and just the time and season of life that we're in right now, where everything is going to automation, everything is going online, everything is going the fast and easy way, that now even more than ever, you have to find a way to set yourself apart and to make people want to work with you. And people work with people that they know, like, and trust. And so if you can get more referrals, which would lead to more apps, those apps would lead to more closings. And more closings, honestly, they lead to more dollars, don't they? So hence him doubling his business in a 1-year period, actually a 6-month period. So
what's the secret?
So let's talk about the secret. So we talk about if you haven't watched this class yet, guys, and we're going to review it at the end, but if you haven't watched the Thor's Hammer class on contacting real estate agents and then going for a coffee with them, you really need to watch that class, but we're going to review it. But what we talk about is once you get them to that coffee, what do you say once you get there? And so we have an acronym that says FROG, FROG, and F is for talking about their family. R is recreation. What do they like to do for fun when they're not being a real estate agent? O is their occupation. How did they get into the business? What do they like about the business? What do they not like about business? How do they have it set up? Do they have an assistant? Anything about their occupation. And then the last one is goals. Where do they see themselves a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What plan do they have in place to get them to those goals and reaching them? So it's frogging them and talking about them, because we all know that everyone's favorite subject is themselves. And so if you could take that 15, 20 minutes and let them chat about them and how awesome they are and how they've gotten to where they are in their business, what do you like to do on the fun? Where do you see yourself a year from now, and how can I help you get there? That's what we found is the frogging piece of it. But what he did when he took that piece.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, that's not the actual secret yet. We're still leading up to this, right?
Yes.
That's still not the secret. That's all good. But I got one question before we go any further with this, and we actually pull the curtains back on this one. Go back to that last slide just for a second. Where did you find a Zen frog? That's all I want to know is where you found it. So Tammy, you talk about frogging with a purpose. Let's just talk about that just for a second, and then we'll go on with this.
Okay. So we have had several classes, and you can find many classes on all that. So everyone knows that in our 4 parts to a sale series that we have, to get a True Blue sale, you need 4 things. 1 is you need to have leads or traffic coming in the door. 2 is you have to build rapport with them, because again, people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. Once you've built that rapport, and it can be done in a very short period of time, then you have a call to action. What would we need to do to work together? And then you stay in touch with them on a consistent basis. And so what we found is that frogging piece of it is the rapport part. That's the part where you're going to be building rapport for them. So it has taken you sometimes weeks, months to get this coffee appointment. So we got to make it count, right? And so how do we make the most time of that time with that qualified agent is when we're doing that frogging piece, in the back of your mind before you ever go in there, what you've got on your mind is, I'm going to be asking for the business, but I'm looking for one thing, and that's what, you know, the movie City Slickers with Curly, you know, there's one thing. And so in your meeting, while you're frogging them and listening to their story, you're going to be looking for one thing that you can make a connection with them on. So what is something that they mention, that they say, that they talk about more than anything else that's important to them? Is it their daughter, their son? Is it their dog or their cat? Is it the vacation they're getting ready to take? Here, is it golf lessons or tennis lessons or what they do on the weekend for fun? That's why you're doing that little frogging session, so that you can be on the lookout for one thing, something that you guys can connect on and that you can follow up later, because that's what this Mr. Shmooze thing is about following up on that one thing that you're listening to. So going into that session where you're having that meeting with them with the intent of, I'm looking for one thing I can connect with them with.
And Tammy, I know that we're going to talk a bit more about this, but like what we're listening for, and you can go to the next slide here, is we're looking for what's that one actionable item. What's that one thing? What's one part of their story that you can connect with? What's the one part of their story you can take action on quickly? And what's the one thing it's easy to find a gift for that shows that you listened? For an example, if you were meeting with Tammy, she lives in Puerto Rico. They have a boat. They go boating, and let's say she's wearing a little necklace with a picture of a sailboat on it, or a little gold, little gold sailboat trinket, or something like that. You might would say, "Oh, pretty necklace. I know it has a boat. Do you guys do boating?" And she would tell you that her and Ron have a very nice boat, and it's a huge part of their life, right? It's something they enjoy doing, which the lovely Mrs. White and Carl happen to be guests of said boat here in December. We're going out there with Kevin Gillespie and his beautiful bride. But anyway, so you would ask her about the boat, or like for me, if you're seeing me wear one of my Harley shirts, or I've got something on about Harley Davidson, you would ask me, "Oh, I see you got a Harley shirt. Do you ride?" You ask Tammy about boating, or you ask me about my bike, and the two of us will talk your ear off for half an hour.
Yes.
And so we're talking about finding that one thing that they talk about that you have a sense they're going to be passionate about. And like you said, Tammy, it could be their, tell them about their, like your son's in school.
Grandbaby, anything like that.
Your son's in school, or you're getting ready to go on a vacation to Alaska. Here, go ahead and give these examples here. I think this will be real good. So one of our people, so I've gotten examples from a whole bunch of people in the Freedom Club of things that they've done. So one of our people said that his real estate partner, when she sat down in the chair at the coffee meeting to have the meeting, was like, "Oh," and he's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Oh, I am really sore. My daughter just started taking tennis lessons this weekend, and I've been running my butt off picking up tennis balls and stuff like that." So what he did was he went, as soon as he got back to the office, that was his one thing. He picked up a couple of cans of tennis balls off of Amazon, had them delivered to her with a note that says, "Hey, we hope these will come in handy with you while you're practicing this weekend, and hopefully save yourself a few steps." So it's just something like that. So what's a can of tennis balls? $2.97. Yeah.
She could go afford to do that, but he cared enough to say, "Hey, I heard what you said. I wanted to send you these," and that was part of some of his results of getting double that, doubling his business. Another one, yeah.
And so the point being made here is just by that simple activity of I listened to what you said. I went home in an appropriate way. You were on my mind. That meeting that we had were on your mind. And I thought it was so interesting to hear about your boating, your dog, your grandkids, your upcoming trip, that I found this little trinket on Amazon, the box of tennis, the tube of tennis balls, that I wanted to send you something just to show that you don't say this part, but it's what their brain tells them. She cared enough that she listened to what I said and sent me this thing. Because I had, I think everybody knows that, again, I'm into bikes, or, I've been known to enjoy a good cigar from time to time. And from time to time when I'm talking to somebody, they'll sit like here, not too long ago, we were at one of our Freedom Club meetings, and the show Wild Wild West came up, the original one with Robert Conrad, and I used to love watching that show. Well, it wasn't 2 weeks later when I get home, I get the box set of the DVDs of the entire Wild Wild West series, and that was just like, again, obviously anybody on this call, we could go buy that, but that they were kind enough to send that to me, I thought was just really cool. And it was cool. It was nice. And it just it put a smile on my face. And so now these people, and you know who you are, they could call and they could ask for any favor. How could you say no? And so it's using that they care thing that makes me want to do for them even more. And you can use that for your referral partners and getting them to send you business. And in this case, where we had this one individual to do this, he went from getting 25 or 25% of them to refer to like 68% getting the refer, just using that one simple thing of finding out what is that one thing, send a simple gift, and we're going to talk about respite here in a minute, send that simple gift, and it just shows that you care, and the price of the gift has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, in fact, there's one that was free to the loan officer. So another one of his real estate agents, when they were in their little frog session, the guy brought up, he's like, hey, I just finished taking golf lessons. I'm looking forward to getting out on a range to practice and to, hone my skills. So the loan officer belonged to a country club. And so he went to them and said, hey, I've got a guy that would probably end up joining if you would give him a month's worth of range privileges so he can try things out. And he might end up taking more golf personal lessons. So it opens up the doors for a lot if you'll do that. And they did it for this loan officer. So then the loan officer was able to present to the to the real estate agent, hey, I pulled some strings and got to in. And with golf season approaching, we wanted you to hit the range. And he, had a kind of in quotes in there. So I've arranged for a free month of driving range privileges at the blah, blah, blah country club. Go hit them straight. Looking forward to catching up and hearing how it's going. Something along those lines. So that didn't cost him anything at all to do that. But again, it showed that it took some effort to do that, to go in and have the conversation and set it all up and then get it sent over. So it was an investment in time as well. Another one, when he heard his people were doing golf stuff, had balls put with the real estate agent's logo on it, and gave them that as a giftie. And so, get creative and think out of the box here. This is one of my all-time favorite ones, is the mug. Yeah. So at a meeting, one of our loan officers was chatting with his partner, and she just went on and on about her dog and how much she loved this dog and how much, joy the dog brought her. So he went on her Facebook page and found the most adorable picture of her dog, and then sent it off to one of these companies that will personalize your mugs or whatever for you. So this is the cup that he did. It was her dog, and it says, "Have a great day at work, Mom." And so you could have, she is going to be loyal to him for life for that.
Simple things.
Yes. And so here's, another one here. One of our people found out that his agent just became a grandfather. And so he, again, went and found out what the little baby girl's name was. And then he had this piggy bank made up that says Layla's College Fund, A Star is Born, Savings by Grandpa John. And so now, who's not gonna just love the loan officer for that when he provides something like that, that Grandpa can come to Layla's house and drop some change in there every single time Grandpa comes for a visit. So there's thoughtful, amazing gifts, guys, that have the power of changing your relationship because you cared enough to do some research and put some time and effort into a very thoughtful gift, not just, hey, here's a business book, read it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the thing about business books when you give them out is sometimes that could be misconstrued of, what, you think I suck? You think I'm no good at business and I need this help? I'll get inside. I heard somebody say that one time. I thought, damn, I never thought about it this way. So, you know, one thing I learned long ago, Tammy, is people don't do business with us based upon our numbers. People do business with us based upon how we make them feel. So if you want to get both customers, you know, like how do I get people to keep from shopping me? Again, nothing's going to be 100%, but if you just, it's not about the numbers, it's how you make them feel. Of course, you can't be quoting rates of, you know, 22%, of course, right? That's not saying that's a license to gouge, but it is. It's all about how you make these people feel, and these little simple things as human beings has a major effect on us. So give this builder one that I got, and then I want to look at the logistics of this.
Yes. So, I mean, it's not just real estate agents that you're going to be doing this with. It's any of your referral partners that you, like your circle of influence. So the people that you may know in your BNI group, the CPAs, financial planners, all of those people, the builders, the credit unions or banks that you may be stopping by. So just people that you meet along the way and you have a connection with them and you're trying to get business and rapport set up with them, just listening to them. So here's one with a builder where they heard that the builder was getting ready to go on a cruise to Alaska with his lovely bride. And so the LO ordered a book off of Amazon about Alaska and what amazing things you could do in Alaska. I saw this book, made me think of you. I hope it helps with planning your trip. Bon voyage. So it's just being thoughtful. And so if you can, when you go into your meetings, that very first meeting with the real estate agent at the coffee appointment, if you go into them with the knowledge of, I'm going to be looking for the one thing that I can connect with, then it's just a game changer for you.
And I just want to make sure we emphasize here, this is not just about buying gifts. That's actually not what we're doing here, right? We're not buying gifts here. So it's not like I'm going to go to Yankee Candle and pick up 25 candles and spend all day, you know, visiting my office. No, I'm not saying that'd be a bad thing, but that's not the secret sauce here. It's not about the candle. It's not about the book. It's that they said, hey, here's something that I'm interested in. Tammy, you showed me that you were listening to me. And man, you've made it personal to me now. So it's not like just going out and buying a bunch of pies and handing out pies. Again, nothing wrong with doing that, but it's not the same effect as giving a
personalized,
that you actually listen to me, which kind of goes into, well, here, I'll do that after you do the slide. I got something I want to talk about.
Yeah, well, I have someone who takes this exact same principle, and they've set up an account in their office that's called Opportunity Alert. So every single one of her staff members, and she's got 6 of them, everyone is required to look for one opportunity alert every single day. And that can be with a client, it can be with a referral partner, it can be with one of the people who are helping out with the transaction, like a inspector or the title rep or anything. They're always on the lookout for someone who says something where they can connect. And so everyone, and it's become a fun office thing. Oh my gosh, guess what I got to send to somebody today? And so, you know, you can have ring the bell or just a lot of things to get office participation in there. But the big thing is becoming listeners and acting upon what you hear. So the logistics of it, what we do is, and we're going to say run everything through your RESPA compliance department. So we are not attorneys, we're not compliance people, we're not RESPA people. So you run this through your company and get the permission that you need. What we have found is, if you keep the gift,
we're not going to even give a dollar amount. It's just our people says, hey, if I buy somebody a cup of coffee, I'm okay. So that's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So you can kind of read the slides here about, what the cost of some of the gifts were. They weren't expensive. It was just a way of saying, I listened to you. Yeah. I heard what you said, and I wanted to say thanks for the coffee, and I wanted to help you out a little bit. So, but some results of this is over 3 meetings. So this is 3 agents, and then it took 3 months for this, but he got $2.7 million in transactions, almost $1 million a month from those 3 agents.
And the point to bring up on this, Tammy, that's only in a 90-day period. Keeping in mind, those referral partners are going to refer more people. He's going to meet a listing agent now at one of those closings. He's going to meet the title company now at one of these closings. He's going to meet the divorce attorney and the cash out refi that was needing to be done. I mean, this is just the very tip of the iceberg, because each deal brings more deals. And again, it was only in a 3-month period. So I think we can all agree that for the price of some coffee, tennis balls, or golf ball that's got somebody's logo on it, it's almost nothing. The big thing about these things, the big point is that when you're going to these new meetings, when you're going into meetings that you're having, and even meetings with people that you're currently working with, keep in mind the name of the game is ask questions, shut up, and listen. Yes. Ask questions, shut up, and listen. I swear I was literally, this is a true story. It sounds like it's a made up story, but it's not. I was in a Starbucks, and it was a loan officer, just by chance. It was a loan officer meeting with a realtor, and the loan officer was asking questions, appropriately so. So it was like, awesome, this is going to go well for this guy. It was a guy, and then one of the answers, she said something about, well, me and my 3 kids, we did this and that and this and that. His very next question, he said, so you have any kids? I was like, oh, dude, you just totally screwed this up. Because he was so busy trying to think of his next question that he wasn't listening to what she was saying. And that's a hard part. It is. It's a hard part. Frankly, it's a developed skill. Is that when somebody else is talking, stop thinking about what am I going to say next. Empty your mind and listen. Everybody that's on this call, you're smart enough that a question will come up in your head at the appropriate time. You don't need to be thinking ahead of time of what it's going to be. So ask questions, shut up, and listen. And that's just the name of the game. So on these meetings, as you're planning for new meetings, go into the meeting with a plan. In other words, have an expected outcome of what you're getting at. Listen, don't talk. We already talked about that. Remember, keep the focus on them, right? Keep asking. And again, that's hard to do, because like if I'm frogging Tammy, and then she says, well, Carl, how about you? Do you have a boat too, or what do you like to do on the weekends? Man, my natural inclination is to take that question and run, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, we're going to be here for a while. We need to order dinner too. We're going to be here for a while, right? Don't do that. Like, just give short, appropriate answers, but then deflect it right back to them. So she said, what do you enjoy doing the weekends? I would say, well, you know, Maria and I, we do a fair amount of traveling. We enjoy doing that. And on the weekends, we might go down to the causeway, put our feet in the water, and just kind of take it easy for a little bit. So on your boat, Tammy, do y'all usually just you and Ron go out by yourselves? Do you like going out with other people? What does that look like? Just deflect it right back to them. And I've never had somebody arm wrestle me to try to deflect it back to me ever. Because the only reason they're asking me a question about me or you is just out of politeness. And as soon as I answer that and go right back to them, it's off and running. The biggest thing when you go into this meeting, and I want you to have this in your mind, what's the one thing? What's the one thing? What's the boat, the golf, the country club, the name of the dog, the grandkids? What's the one thing? What's the one thing? And then we have another set of training here in the animals organization that actually, if I remember right, Tammy, you and I did it not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's what is the follow-up? There's a 10-day follow-up system. Like as soon as you finish that meeting, make this call, make this text, send this email, do this.
And this note, and this.
Like them on Facebook. Yeah, all that. That's really powerful stuff. And keep in mind.
This is one of the steps. So this is one of those steps.
Yeah. And keep in mind that when you're doing these follow-up systems, it's incredibly likely you're going to need help doing this. So this may or may not be an activity that you yourself will do. It's just you'll supervise it. And with every person that you meet, you're going to, hey, here's a checklist for the 10-day system. Just simply check each box. Once you do it in 10 days, at the end of the 10 days, give this form back to me so I can see, what was done. I'm telling you, this is going to it'll as our brother that did the beta test on this, he switched from 1 out of 4 sending deals to 3 out of 4, and this sending out this, we're going to call it the frog gift, goes out within like 3 or 4 days, so it's pretty good. And and the other thing about it, Tammy, it's kind of fun doing this. That when you, like, to me, it's kind of like the love languages, like, which is a whole nother topic. But when I meet with somebody, I'm kind of having fun with what is their love language, or what is that one thing for them. And it's almost like I kind of treat it like I'm like
treasure hunt.
Yeah, I'm treasure hunting. That's exactly. I was thinking about one of these escape rooms. You go in the room, you're going, okay, how does this work? And when I meet with somebody, and again, it's not in a manipulation way, because I'm looking to make them feel better. Because I think that's kind of a cool thing to do. I'm looking to influence them, right? It's like, what is that one thing? And it's like a treasure hunt. It can be kind of fun, but don't forget that when you get in with this meeting, that is the primary goal. Is what is it? Well, what is their one thing? And again, I know you had one more thing up there. This works for everyone. So same thing. Obviously always on the appropriate level, but with people at your work. My daughter Alexis, her boyfriend, we were visiting her in Atlanta, and she gets a gift sent from him, and it was just a little trinket, and she looked at, oh, this is where we were this and that, and I mentioned this and that, and he sent me this little thing here, little $5 widget or something. He said, man, the dude's like in. I mean, it was just like awesome. And so it's just simple little things. I was listening to you, I was thinking about you, and here, please accept this from me. So
yes.
Powerful stuff. So over the tips here, we'll wrap this up with one more simple idea.
Yes. So big tips for this, and I think we've said this a little bit, is it's just got to be something that you can connect with. And so you're listening to it, but you're trying to establish relationships. So if you're going into it with manipulation of, hey, I want to find their one thing and I'm going to send them a gift because that'll make them send stuff, not going to work. So this is a package deal, guys, of how do you build rapport with somebody? How do you build? So I kind of liken it to the dating game. If you send roses or flowers, the girl knows what's in your heart. Are you sending them because you really had a good time and you wanted to brighten her day, or are you sending it for ulterior motives? So, do what's in your heart with them, and because you want to, if you can see yourself being friends with this person. I think that's a great thing there, is that you see yourself being strong acquaintances or a friend with them. And here's a big thing. If after you've spent 15 or 20 minutes, you just haven't come up with anything that's like, they're probably not going to be a good match for you. And so cut them loose. One of our favorite things to say is that 25% of people are going to love you no matter what you do. You could, my favorite thing is, you could do armpit farts and someone would say, oh my God, you're just hysterical. I love you. And another person could be throwing gold coins. And if they don't like you, they'll say, you hit me. And so we're looking for the person who we connect with no matter what. And so guys, if they're not a good match, let them go. They would probably be your biggest pain in the ass anyways, on the loans. So let them go. Let them go. The key is to connect. So here's another way that one of our guys.
This is one more way, which is kind of not related to what we're talking about today, but it kind of is. Like this first for everybody, whether you've met with them or not, whether you're trying to meet a meeting with them or not. And I want to make sure we give credit to this. Brad Walker, just one of the coolest guys ever, very dear personal friend of both mine and Tammy's, one of the leaders in the Freedom Club for a long, long time. And Brad is the one that came up with this idea, if I remember right. And he, what he does is, Facebook will let you know when people's birthdays are. So he goes on to his referral partners and looks up when their birthday is or was, and has that as a spreadsheet for one of his helpers in his office. And what they do is they send a birthday cake to their office, but they send it the day before the birthday,
or 2 days, yeah,
or 2 days, yeah. Which is just say if their birthday was whatever, July 15th, just say that they would send the cake over on the 13th, and on it the little sticker which goes, as you're looking at this cake, you can see on the picture on the right there, you see that little sticker that's kind of on the plastic outside. If you zoomed in on it, which is what we've done on the left here, it says, "Happy birthday, Carol, a day early because I think it's DeSoto Home Mortgage is always ahead of schedule," or because, the Brad Walker team is always ahead of schedule. I'd rather use a Brad Walker team than an individual company myself. It is always.
And he kind of discovered that by accident because he was sending it on their birthday and he was finding out that they weren't working on their birthday. And so he's like, let me send it the day before. And a lot of people were there. So he's like, So then he...
It's a great, I know when I heard this idea, it's a great idea. Because, on your birthday, and don't get me wrong, we're all grateful for it, but you get, 1,200 people, to send you messages. And it's all good, in social marketing and, not so much birthday cards anymore. It tends to be all virtual. And Brad saw an opportunity there. It's like nobody actually sends cards or send cakes or makes it a physical item because Facebook makes it too easy just to send them a pre-made birthday card kind of thing, which is okay, I guess. But this really make it personal. And I loved his because the Brad Walker team is always ahead of schedule, which is like huge for referral partners. So
and then he's just got a wonderful thank you card for it that just said, your thoughtfulness is so wonderful. You go to the limit. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, Carol. So, I think it's just an amazing thing to do. And I've got a couple people who have taken this and just changed it a little bit, and they send gourmet cupcakes or gourmet cookies or it's just something along those lines. The key to it is that little sticker on there that just shows them that you were thinking of them and you thought it was their birthday and you wanted to beat everybody to the punch here.
Yeah.
So the big thing is, have a plan when you go into the meeting and then work the plan. Know that the key to this is, like you said, ask questions, shut up and listen, and you're listening to that one thing. It's not hard to do. Most people just don't take the time to do it. They're so interested in, I got to tell them about my rate. I got to tell them about my team. I got to tell them about my company and about all the products that we offer.
Yeah.
And if someone's asking you about rate and products, it's because they're bored and you haven't let them talk about them. And so you've got to get really good at letting them talk about them. And if you can't do it, train someone in your office to do it. I've got a lot of people who have the business development rep or the weather lady or weather guy, whatever you want to call it, but that can do this as well. And so it is about setting yourself apart and building relationships, not contact. So anyone can have a coffee with you, and that is a contact.
Yeah.
When you have a second conversation or a second opportunity to meet, that is the start of building relationship.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point here, Tam, is that it doesn't have to be us doing it. Again, utilize your team. As soon as you finish that meeting while it's fresh on your mind before you get back into putting out fires in the office. Look, we all have it, at some level, all of us have some fires we're putting out. I get that. And lot of stuff, and as your business is ramping up, you have a lot of things on your mind. You go, I meant to do this, and it doesn't happen. Man, I'm about as guilty as that, probably more than anybody. And I've learned, man, if you want it done, just, you know, ask somebody just real quick. Hey, get on the phone. Hey, I just met with Diane, really, really, really nice lady. She's outdoorsy kind of girl. Once you find something about camping and make sure it's not glamping. She's not a glamping lady, you know, she's a camping lady. And so find something about, you know, that kind of thing, and just offload it, get it off your plate so that it's done. It's very, very, very powerful. You're truly impacting people in a very deep way. And you know what, on the good side of all this, Tammy, you're impacting them in a cool way too. That like how nice is it that we can put a smile on somebody's face. And oh, by the way, we actually write more loans when we do that. As silly as that sounds, this small stuff like this, I'm telling you, it's the secret of the top producers. This type of thing it's literally what it's all about. This is how you communicate with people and influence people in a very, very deep level. And this is a strategy used by very, very high level, very influential people. Very, very powerful. So cool.
Perfect. It's a great strategy. It's so easy to do. And the best part of it is fun, and it'll make someone's day. So what I would love to see, Carl, is people actually doing this and then posting it on the Facebook group and showing us, because, you know, some people are more creative than others. And so you may inspire someone else, guys. If you'll post your stuff, it may inspire someone else to do something else. So share your knowledge, share your creativity, share what you're doing with us, and let us be a part of that as well.
And the results, even though we already know what the results are going to be, would love to hear what your results are. So,
yes.
Tam, thanks for helping put this together. We appreciate you guys. Tammy and I know that you could be anywhere doing anything, and that you would choose to spend this last 45 minutes with us is truly an honor. And any way we can help you to make this even better for you, please let us know, because that's what it's all about. It's not about us, it's about you, and we really sincerely mean that. So thanks again. Thank you, Tammy, and we'll see the rest of you guys on the web. Bye-bye.
Bye.